Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. We're doing a location today. I guess they were mentioning all the different piers this week.
All about the piers you do and don't want to be on.
So if you're listening to this in the future, it's the week that Lucy was shot and she was on Pier 55. And then Anna thought she was on Pier 47. And so it was like, you know what? We know that we see them occasionally do a different one, but it's typically between 54 and 55.
Yes.
It's between those two. So it's reasonable to think
54 is where you go to talk about things that you shouldn't be talking about in public or to be by the launch to Cassadine Island. And
no.
Yeah.
No.
55 is not the launch.
Yep.
Is it?
Let's talk about it. We'll get there.
It's 54 where...
It's where the harbor master is.
Harbor master. That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, exactly.
And 55 is where you go to get shot and get on Cassadine Island?
Let's do this 411 and talk about this.
Okay.
Because that's exactly a lot of things that
I feel like they're switching up piers on us.
All right.
Go ahead.
So as you may know, we named our podcast after Pier 54 because, as Amanda said, all the different conversations happen down on the pier and it tends to be like the more secretive kind of stuff happens down there, but there are multiple piers. So we thought we'd cover them. A lot of the information, obviously they are not going to have every single thing that has ever happened on them, because just what I've been keeping track of this year is bigger than the list that they have on General Hospital Fandom. It is a wiki page, so people can alter this.
Yeah.
So we just might have to add to the Pier 54. But so it's generally known as the Waterfront section of Port Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Their notable locations are the Brownstone, Kelly's Diner, the Waterfront Promenade, the Waterfront Clinic, the Elm Street Pier, Pier 52, Pier 54, and Pier 55. Notice the 47 is not mentioned there.
Right.
We'll get there. We're also going to use the travel guide to Port Charles.
Thanks, Lucy.
Yes. You want to get us started on the history?
Sure. As its name suggests, Port Charles is a major port. The waterfront district has been under the control of Sonny Corinthos for over a decade.
For over 2 decades now.
Oh, stop.
He's been here for 20. Stop. It's been 25 years, like years ago.
All right. I'm not going to think about that. So the page I'm reading says over a decade.
Okay.
Though rival gangs have tried to move in on his territory, such as Lorenzo Alcazar, the Ruiz brothers, and others, Kelly's, the local eatery, is located in this area, and the Elm Street Pier is also located here. I don't really think of Kelly's that close to the water.
But I guess it is. That must be when you're looking at Kelly's on the outside and you see where they come in. Maybe that is the steps down
to the
pier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll trust them.
Yeah.
And the Elm Street Pier is also located here. Rick Weber rented a cottage for him and Monica Quartermain during their affair in this area. It was here they were stalked by Alan Quartermain, who tried to kill them.
That wasn't a cottage.
No.
I felt like that was a condo maybe on the pier.
Yeah.
Not a cottage. A cottage is
like out in the country.
And it's a separate little thing. It's like a little cozy.
Yeah, it's a cozy cottage, not where people are stalking you trying to kill you.
Well, you can stalk someone at a cottage too.
But it wouldn't be as scary. It wouldn't be as scary.
Look at Little Red Riding Hood.
It wouldn't be as scary.
If someone is trying to stalk you and blow you up, I'm pretty sure that is scary no matter where you are.
I think the body of the water makes it scarier.
Maybe in California that is a cottage.
Maybe.
Okay. Even though this is New York.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's okay. Majority of the Port Charles waterfront is owned by the Pride Phillips Company, which was given to Courtney Matthews as a thank you from a woman whose life she saved. Courtney later sold Pride Phillips to Lorenzo Alcazar. I did not remember any of that.
And
part.
I feel like a lot of this is super outdated and has not been updated, this history stuff, in a while.
And then Elm Street is a poorer district within the city that is located near the waterfront. It is notable for being the place where one of the city's most famous and flamboyant residents, Luke Spencer, grew up. Really?
Yeah.
Luke's sister, Bobby Spencer, owned a restored brownstone here, which became the residence of several Port Charles citizens. Alan Quartermain and Mike Corbin used this district of Port Charles to meet up with prostitutes while fighting addictions. Maxie Jones was almost raped here after buying hydrocodone for Lucky Spencer. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago.
Yep.
Robert Scorpio was beaten up by Lorenzo Alcazar's enforcers for not revealing the location of Sky Quartermain, who was pregnant with his child at the time. No, see, I just thought the brownstone was like a decent neighborhood, like over here.
I didn't
and then,
realize
like,
that it was
way
such a
over
bad
here was the bad neighborhood.
I didn't realize that it was such a, quote, bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that shootouts and stuff happen
neighborhood.
there, but that can happen anywhere.
I don't think the brownstone is in a bad neighborhood. No,
Well-
I'm reevaluating my Port Charles property. What the heck?
Fisherman Village is the waterfront development constructed by mobsters in the tumble dry money laundering scam, which I don't know anything about that.
Now
and
I have
it
to
sounds
check it out.
so cool. Dan Rooney, commissioner of the waterfront development, tried to oppose the construction due to the shoddy construction plans, but was silenced in a, quote, accident arranged by Mr. Big.
Okay.
Co-police chief Bert Ramsey.
Okay.
The waterfront promenade houses the popular coffee shop Perks, which serves Corinthos coffee.
Okay.
The B/N department store is located somewhere in this area. Pier 55 is where the launch for Spoon Island is located, and many high-level Port Charles citizens meet on the Elm Street Pier daily.
I don't feel like Pier 55 is the launch.
Okay.
Pier 55 is where Lucy just got shot.
Yes.
Where was there a launch off there?
I don't know.
When they usually go to launch to Spoon Island, that staircase isn't there. 55 has the staircase.
Okay.
Because 55 is also where Slimy Guy was hooked by
Our logo
Esme.
is very incorrect. Our logo is actually Pier 55. Oh my gosh. Oops.
Okay, that's a good
Be
thing
on
that
the
we're
lookout.
learning.
Be on the lookout
for
a new. Look at it. Guys, it has been 2 years. Why has no one corrected this?
That's funny.
But Pier 54 is in the right. Well, it's on the back,
Yeah.
not. Okay, so we just need a new logo. Cool.
I swear, Pier 54 is where you get on Lulu's boat.
The Haunted
The
Star.
Haunted Star, too.
I don't know.
I'm going to investigate this more.
All right,
through,
you investigate
actual
this more.
watching, because I'm not believing what they're telling me here.
Okie doke.
And what is BN Department Store? Because I've never heard of that.
It has been in Port Charles since at least 2009. Nell bought a scarf at B&N. It says B/N.
Mm-hmm.
So is it B&N? Even though there's
saying
no, oh yeah,
B/N.
nicknames is B&N. So we're just
Okay.
going to go with that. Before she went into hiding in 2020. Oh, no.
Before she went to the nurse's ball.
Yes. Presumably she had plans to disguise herself with a scarf, but had to change her plan when Brooklyn overheard her talking to Julian about stealing Wiley. Nell ended up slashing Brooklyn's throat with scissors and leaving with the bag. So that's the only thing that we know about it? Okay. Cool.
Okay, so it's a store that one scarf was bought at, and that's why I don't remember it, is because I'm sure that Nell wasn't talking about it that much.
Right.
But anyway,
The waterfront.
the waterfront is also a popular place for jogging, which is true, and every time they go somewhere shady, I'm like, what are you doing by yourself? With the Bellwether Steps providing a spectacular view of the harbor, it's also the location for the Polar Bear Plunge charity event. Okay,
Didn't that
so
just start?
So that's where there's the plants and stuff, and they like sit and talk. Like Lucky and Liz used to sit and talk all the time when they were younger.
Yes.
That's where the Polar Bear Plunge is.
Yeah.
We're on the same page there. All right, I'll agree with that statement. There are 57 piers on the waterfront where many events happen, including disaster and crime. In February 1991, many Port Charles citizens protested the arrival of the freight SS Tracy, owned by the Quartermain family. The boat sank on arrival in the middle of the Port Charles harbor, unleashing toxic chemicals and causing an environmental disaster.
And that's something that you're going to want to remember for the cartel.
And then in 2008, Alexis Davis and Sam McCall are attacked here by the text message killer. Dun, dun, dun. On March 17th, 2008, one of the warehouses on the docks, an abandoned cannery, exploded. Sunny met with Claudia Zaccara to return Johnny to her. She arrived and got on the phone with an ally to try and make peace with them and Sunny. Meanwhile, Trevor Lansing, a sniper, stood on a loft in the warehouse, I guess, if we're shooting people, warehouse, poised to shoot Claudia. Rick Lansing and Mariana Aroso. I don't remember who that is.
I don't know who that is.
We're in another part of it, trying to cover the dead body of Randy. Carly finally finds Michael, where he confesses to shooting Kate Howard. They began to leave and go home. Meanwhile, a bomb is slowly ticking away. Right as the sniper pulls his trigger, the bomb goes off and an explosion rips through the building. Everyone survives the event, but Carly miscarries her baby. Soon after, the docks became the site of a fake prescription drug ring headed up by Jerry Jacks. The ring produced placebos that claimed at least one life, a female heart patient. Matt Hunter was the prime suspect, but he was too cute to kill people. No, Matt Hunter was the prime suspect.
Cute people kill people.
But the extent of his involvement cleared. Andrea Karbov had a cargo ship, Odyssey, docked in the harbor. Am I saying that right?
Sure.
Okay. And when the Russian mob invaded Port Charles in 2008, various events occurred here, including
Andrei
Karpov,
yeah,
stabbing Sonny and throwing him into the harbor with weights tied to his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
He got clever, see? Carly jumping in and saved him just in time. Weeks later, Sonny killed Karpov here, and then in late December, Sasha Donev was shot and killed by a sniper. In early January 2009, a brainwashed Drew Kane blew up Sonny's latest cargo shipment. In 2011, Sean Butler, Sean, stops a bomb from going off at the waterfront. Later, Dante Falconeri is shot here. In 2012, Jerry Jacks's boat explodes following the leaking of gas from a shootout on the docks involving Sonny, Sean, John McBain, and Dante. Sonny and Jasper Jacks were on board, but both managed to swim to shore. See, because they were like from back here, just like they dropped Holly off back here so she could swim to not the pier, but the boathouse launch.
Hold on. I just stumbled on something there and I found it and then I just lost my place.
Do you want me to start talking about?
Nope, I got it.
You got stuff on Pier 14? Does Lucy break it down that good?
No.
Okay.
But I just mean like for future.
All right.
So, Pier 14 is where in September 2011, JT tells Johnny Zaccara that cut drugs are being stored at the old packaging house on the pier. Johnny has JT call his contact, Rudy Trujillo, to arrange a meeting. Before Rudy arrives, Johnny gives JT a gun for protection. Johnny calls Rudy's name and forces JT to shoot Rudy. Rudy shoots back and hits JT in the abdomen, and both men are killed.
Yep, don't remember that. I wonder if some of them didn't have the numbers
Possibly. As prominent as...
Yes.
Yeah.
So then Pier 17, Nicholas pays a man to attack Hayden here. Oh, see, I feel like I should have remembered that if it was properly displayed. He rescues Hayden from the attacker and convinces her that Valentine wants her dead and she should leave town, which she reluctantly does, November 26th, 27th, 2019. See, I didn't remember that being a different pier. I don't think that was marked. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Sorry. And then after her brother, Rocco Falconeri, wouldn't believe that Charlotte had a secret bodyguard, her thought dead Uncle Nicholas, she jumped into the freezing harbor to prove him wrong. And that was December 17th, 2019. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. And then on Pier 47, the group boards Matt Hunter's charter boat for his party, and that was October 2011. And then this past week, Anna thinks Lucy is meeting Victor here for a cruise in the harbor on October 18th, 2022.
Pier 52, a boat explodes as it's pulling into the harbor. That was September of 2003. The Pier 52 shootout happened. Well, it makes sense if it's called a Pier 52 shootout now, doesn't it? Where's your husband?
He's not home.
Jason was shot by Faison disguised as Duke Lavery, and Bernie Abrams is killed. Jason is thought to be dead for 5 years. And then Caleb Morley murders Allison Barrington. A lot happened on 52. That's crazy. Caleb returns to the pier along with Rafe Kovich Jr. and Officer Bud Carlson. Caleb stabs Officer Carlson to death and tries to kidnap Rafe, but fails. And that was January of 2013. Todd Manning and Heather Weber hide out here while waiting for a boat in order to leave Port Charles. But before they can, Caleb arrives and stops Heather from leaving with Danny Morgan by choking her neck and throwing her into the harbor. Caleb tries to kidnap Danny, but Todd stops Caleb, and both Todd and Caleb struggle over the stroller. Caleb threatens Todd to leave, but Todd refuses, and before Caleb can do anything, he hears the police sirens and runs off. After Todd is arrested, Caleb goes back to the pier where he kidnaps both Sam McCall and Danny, and that was February 2013. Michael Corinthos and Morgan Corinthos have a fight here, and Michael falls in the water. Morgan left him to drown, and Michael almost did until Franco saved him in November of 2013. And then Cassandra Pierce's boat explodes as it pulls away from the pier. Valentine Cassadine arranges for the explosion, and that was November 2019.
And then Pier 54.
The best pier ever.
Is where Kiki Jerome is shot in the abdomen by Landon Dixon, who's in the middle of a gun deal on the pier in February of 2016. In May 2016, Anna Devane is attacked, knocked out, and locked in a meat locker by Carlos Rivera. Carlos is later stabbed 3 times with a dagger by Julian Jerome and kicked into the water. This is also where, just 2 months later, Julian held a dagger, I'm guessing maybe the same one, to Alexis's throat. And then Alexis Davis finds Brendan Burns' floating body in the water on April 18th, 2022. As we know, so much more has happened there.
Yes.
So I really feel, obviously, not every little thing is written on these. And then 55 has the longest one.
It does. Patient 6 shot Klein's henchman Delvin here. Then Dr. Klein pushes Sam McCall into the harbor and Patient 6 rescues her. Later, Valentine Cassadine finds an injured Delvin here, October 2017. Jason Morgan and Drew Kane get into a physical altercation over Sam, leading both men to be arrested. Love whenever the men fight over you, Sam. March 2018. Peter August almost shot Anna Devane here before Jason showed up in May of 2018. Sam rescued Jason, pulling him as he was barely conscious from the cold water after he fell into the catacombs and had to swim to safety in January of 2019. Laura Collins and her assistant Maureen find Ava Cassadine drunk here, May 21st, 2019. Cassandra Pierce took young Charlotte Cassadine hostage here, which led to Cassandra's presumed death at the hands of Charlotte's father, Valentine Cassadine, November 12th, 2019. Cyrus Renault arranged an ambush here when Laura was shot in January of 2020. Jordan Ashford finds fellow DEA agent Mark Simon dead here, February of 2020. Sonny and Jason meet Cyrus and Walker here for a mob meeting. I feel like, again, why are we having mob meetings in the middle of the piers? But okay. April 2020. Harrison Chase and Sasha Gilmore get drunk together here, May 2020. Jordan meets here with Marcus Taggart, who was thought to be dead, August of 2020. Julian Jerome holds his wife, Nell Benson Jerome, at gunpoint after she blackmailed him into kidnapping her son. He is attacked by Marcus Taggart, whom he shoots. Nell gets away, and Julian throws the gun into the harbor before he leaves. Jason Morgan is surprised to find Marcus while following a lead on the kidnapping, August 2020. Peter August kidnapped his daughter and held Maxie Jones hostage. February 2022? Really?
No. Yeah.
Wow.
That was this year.
What?
This has been a really long year.
That feels like forever ago.
Wow.
Oz Haggerty is stabbed and killed by the hook, October 6, 2022. Lucy is shot by an unknown person here after waiting for Victor to go on a cruise in the harbor, October 18th, 2022.
we can actually add, because I've been tracking what's been happening on the pier for 2022. So also this year, I started tracking in April what happened on the pier. That's where Brendan shook down Harmony, announced that Willow is Nina's daughter.
Okay.
Victor asked Drew to meet him there, and he said no. Marshall tried to leave.
Uh-huh.
Alexis found Brendan's body, so that's what they already talked about. Curtis confronted Marshall about his arrest record. The cell phone guy, a.k.a. Oz, took the launch to Windermere.
See?
Dex and Michael talked, and then Jordan sneaks up on Anna with the hook. Was all that I had on there.
See? Took the launch to Windermere.
Well, so then the travel guide says Pier 52.
Okay.
Start your tour on the industrial waterfront. Pier 52 is now closed to the public, but it can be accessed via a gap in a chain link fence that would attempt to ward off all but those the most determined intriguers. Be sure to visit in the morning when the drunks have all turned in, the brack glistens in the sunlight, and the odor is at its least funky. If you can take your eyes off the horizon for a moment, you may spot the remnants of a dark stain on the wooden planks. This would be the mark left by the blood of Stone Cold Jason Morgan, longtime associate and enforcer for reputed mob boss Sonny Corinthos. Jason has survived a number of close calls, but none closer than this spot. It was here that the international terrorist and walking split end, says our face on, caught Jason by surprise, shooting him in the back and kicking his body into the harbor like a barrel of toxic waste. We shouldn't be kicking that into the water either.
No.
Upon learning of Jason's fate, his true love, sometime salvage diver, Sam Morgan, donned her wetsuit and braved the murk in an attempt to save him, just as he had saved her so many times, but there was no trace of him. His body was never found, and he was declared dead. But in 2014, an amnesiac came to Port Charles whose DNA matched that of Jason's, though his face did not. Jason's friends and family accepted this man as the person they had known and so terribly missed. But after 3 years, fate stepped in again when the real Jason Morgan, with face and memories mostly intact, turned up a captive in a Russian plastic surgery clinic. Jason made his way back to Port Charles, crashing through the skylight of the Metro Court Hotel restaurant and thwarting the kidnapping of his wife, Sam, who had since gone on and married his twin, thinking it was him. I hate when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Sam's husband turned out to be Jason's identical brother, and the event known as the Jasoning began.
The Jasoning?
The Jasoning. And then, my other sticky. But then she also mentions, seriously, I had another one.
It was back there.
Thank you. The Elm Street Pier separately, and it says the waterfront is romantic for so many reasons: the sea breeze, the clang of harbor bells, and the limited cell service, so your parents can't text you to come home. It's also stop number 1 on our tour because it's where Brenda and Sonny first met. The way Sonny tells it, he saw Brenda struggling to carry a couple armloads of boxes. Sonny, ever the gallant, always a sucker for a damsel in distress, beamed his dimpled smile at her and swooped in to the rescue. I wanted nothing to do with him, says Brenda. He was bad news. Sometimes bad news means new beginnings, Sonny told me, only to follow up with, but if anyone ever tries a line like one of mine on you, run in the other direction and then call me. Sonny and Brenda's romance began with a simple handshake, and it got a lot more complicated. And then, under the description for Spoon Island, which I'm not going to get all into, but it ends with, want to know more? The Museum of Mayhem offers guided boat cruises around the island every summer, Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Tours depart from Pier 23.
Okay.
And are just $49.95, and it includes a box lunch from Kelly's.
I want to go. Again, why is that not a real thing we can do?
Right. So in short, like that's kind of a basic rundown of the pier, the waterfront area. Quick rundown.
I do want a map now because I do not picture the brownstone as the shady neighborhood, and I do not picture Kelly's that close to the water.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that says perks. Why wouldn't it be Pier's perks? Pier perks.
Because then,
It would be limited to the pier.
yeah.
Okay.
And they have a Perks
Yeah.
at other locations.
Rice Plaza.
Yeah.
No, we said that they should have one there. We said that they should have a kiosk there. Do they have one there?
I
Well,
thought
this
they
is not a
did.
Corinthos coffee.
It's not, but during the winter scenes
I
when they're
think that
getting
they did.
whatever, I think
Yeah.
they do to get hot chocolate.
Okay. So then a little bit about the Waterfront Promenade, as it was mentioned as part of the Waterfront, is it's a boardwalk on the waterfront of Port Charles. It's a popular location of the indoor Perks coffee shop and outdoor kiosk, as well as other local businesses. Citizens enjoy ice skating on the water in the winter. When have we ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, we did. Last year they went ice skating.
Not on that one. Not
on the
not from
not on the
there.
harbor.
Mm-mm.
No, at Rice Plaza,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what Rice Plaza looks like, unless that's the side that faces the harbor and the other side
Maybe.
is Rice Plaza.
Yeah. But then on August 22nd, 2016, a man named Damon makes a pass at Kiki on the promenade, and Morgan Corinthos, working at the Perks kiosk, and gets in a fight with Damon, defending Kiki until police arrive and Damon leaves. Then on June 7th, 2017, Hayden Barnes takes Spencer Cassadine and Cameron Weber down to the promenade, where they order coffee from the Perks kiosks. They become wild and have a coffee fight, which their grandmother, Laura Collins, ends, right, their grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
ends when she walks in on it. Hayden bursts into tears and tells Laura that she's pregnant and feels like she will make a bad mother. And then the Waterfront Clinic is also down there, and the one storyline that it mentions is in 1981, Laura runs to Rick's clinic and tries to get nurse Georgia Price, who worked there, to save Brighton O'Reilly. Georgia tried to get Laura to calm down and explain what happened. O'Reilly is brought in on a gurney to the clinic with gunshot wounds. Georgia thinks O'Reilly injuries are too extensive for the clinic to handle, and she needs to get to the ER. At GH, the ambulances arrive, but O'Reilly dies in Robert's arms at the clinic as he promises her he will get Alex. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that ties into
80s, yeah.
Yeah. So in short, that's kind of like a real short rundown.
In short, that's the short one.
We do need a map. We do need, because I feel like more happened on 47 based on those things. We know that we have seen that.
Yes.
What else was it? Same with 54. We know that a lot has happened on 54.
I need a map.
I don't know.
I swore that ours is how you get to Castine Island, and they're contradicting themselves.
I don't know.
So,
You find that information and
alrighty.
get back to us.
All right, I'll do that.
All right. So with that, we'll see what other peers, I guess, we hear about this week.
Right.
And maybe now you'll know. So join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.